out on this machine, as you see right here. Now this is really extreme case of a battery that got bloated, and what happened was when it was in here, this is the connector for the left and right click buttons for the trackpad, and it goes over the battery. So when the battery expanded, it tore not only this the end piece of this connector off, as you can see the pieces right here, which goes into the actual connector on the board, but it completely tore this connector off. As you can see, this is not connected at all. So I'm going to solder that back on there. Now there's two ways you can do it. The first would be you could apply heat to the reverse side of the board, because this is low melt plastic. You do not want to melt this. You could apply hot air to the reverse side of the board while having this aligned, and it could flow on there. Now there's another way to do it, which is with a soldering iron, which is what I'm going to do. So you see here these switches right here that flip up for when you put the see that? And it's the same with this one, they flip up. When they're down like this, you can't see the actual terminals which go on the pads. But look, if you flip it up like that, now you can see these where it connects directly to the footprint or the pads on the board. So I'm going to flip this up like that and just take a fine tip of a soldering iron and just reflow each pin onto the pad individually. And so that's the way I'm going to put this connector back on. Now obviously this cable is going to need replaced, as well as this battery, but that's real simple. So anyway, I don't know if I can show this because I'm not really set up to record here. Like I said, I really don't enjoy making these videos too much, so I never got a professional recording setup. But maybe I could just set my phone here and you can actually see the repair. So just give me a minute. I'm going to line the connector up. Make sure that tab's flipped back. We're just going to push it right into place here so that everything's lined up. Okay, I clean my iron. I'm just going to take a really small amount of solder on the tip of my iron, because when I do the first pin right here first, I got to be holding down on this connector. So let's get the first started. All right. All right. So I got each end of the connector started. And I'm just going to go through and hit each one. So what I'm doing is just applying a tiny amount of solder to the tip of my iron in between every couple pads here. These are really small pads, they don't take much solder. And we got a little bit of a bridge on that last two pads, so I'm gonna just clean that up. some flux, clean iron, and just all right, there we go. Every pad looks like it has a great connection. So we can, I'm gonna stop the video here. Let me see if I could zoom in. Actually, I don't know if I can show. Yeah, I guess that's hard to see on there, but each pad's connected really good. All right, so before I do 100% full reassembly of this machine, I just want to make sure everything works first. That way I don't have to end up tearing the entire thing back apart if there's any issues. So you can see we got a brand new battery in here. We replaced this left and right click buttons cable, as well as that connector that's on there, as well as that DC-in connector on the board and the DC-in jack itself, because that was burned down. Now I'm going to plug this thing in, and we're just going to make sure everything works okay. So 1 second here. You can see in that corner right there, looks like the battery is charging. Well, of course, we'll have to boot in the operating system, make sure. Let me see if the click button is working. Yep, there's a left click button that worked. So I'm sure that the right click button is also working. So yeah, looks like everything is good with this machine. Now, the trackpad right here is cracked, but it works. It completely functions, and the customer didn't want to replace this because actually to replace just the trackpad right here, you'll notice that, well, you can't see because the battery's in now, but the trackpad isn't a separate unit like it is in the MacBook boards. The trackpad's actually built into the top cover on this board. So to replace the trackpad, you'd have to replace the entire top cover, which can sometimes be expensive. So anyway, that's about all for this repair. Like I said, it looks like everything is good. Of course, I'm going to finish assembly of this and turn it and boot into the operating system and make certain everything's good. But like you just saw there, everything looks good. I'm sure it's okay. So that's going to conclude this video, and thanks for watching.